These passive income nodes have been live for 6 months and are earning me 5 tokens a day. The project has a fully public team and over $6 million in funding. They already have an active product that is competing with Zoom and Google Meets, and the project has exploded over the last few months with over 144,000 users and 600 million minutes on the platform. It took Zoom 10 years to reach this milestone, but this project did it in just 30 days. They previously had a node sale, but due to the demand that they now have on the network, there is a limited edition NFT mint that is going to go live on the 28th of May. And unlike the last sale, these nodes are available to people in the USA. And make sure you stay till the end of the video, as I'll break down what is different with these node sales because there are some added perks, and I'll also share how you can get an extra 13% discount plus a 5% refund. So make sure you stay around for that. In this video, I'll quickly go over the pre-sale details, highlighting the key dates so you don't miss them. I'll then go over what Huddle01 is building and what they've been able to achieve so far. I'll quickly overview the project growth that they've achieved in the last 6 months. I'll review the Airdrop campaign so you can get involved in the testnet for free. I'll review what the media nodes are doing and also how you can deploy them if you get hold of one. I'll then share details on the upcoming node sale, and finally, I'll talk you through step by step how you can reserve your node today. This is time sensitive because the pre-sale is up until the 4th of June, but if you're watching this after that date, you can still purchase in the public sale. I'll have timestamps on the screen. This is an in-depth video, so sit down, grab a cup of coffee, and let's dive straight in. I'd really appreciate it if you could like the video and subscribe to the channel. It supports the algorithm and it supports what I'm doing. Right, let's get back to the video. Right, before we go into this project in detail, I do want to highlight to you some time-sensitive information. The pre-sale for the media nodes is going to be taking place on the 28th of May, right through till the 4th of June. So depending on when you are watching this video, you might still be in the pre-sale phase. And if you have missed that date, worry not, because the public sale will be taking place on the 6th of June. But you'll want to pay special attention because there are additional benefits for taking part in the pre-sale. First of all, you're going to get a 10% off automatic discount for doing so. The second benefit of taking part in the pre-sale is you're going to get a 5% rebate in Huddle on your purchase. Just use my code PCM. And the third benefit is that if you are already a node holder, a Pioneer node holder from the previous sale, you'll get an additional 3% off. The fourth benefit is that there is a raffle taking place for purchases in the pre-sale. And that raffle is going to give you access to additional nodes. You're not going to get a chance to do that unless you do that in the pre-sale. Later on in the video, I'll show you step by step how you can pre-sale, and I'll go into detail on that. But just make a note of those key dates. They'll be flashed up on the screen for you now. Right, let's jump into the next part of the video. Right, so let me introduce you to Huddle01 if you're not aware of it. I'm not going to do a super in-depth because I did cover this already, but there's some new things that I think you'll want to stick around for. So Huddle01 is hoping to be the Depin for real-time connectivity. So this is lightning fast performance for audio video calls, but also anything that requires connectivity like live streaming, gaming, AI agents, and more. And the project is sitting in the bandwidth category, and you can see a couple of other projects that also sit in this category. But what makes this project super different is that they already have products that they have brought to the market that have had insane numbers, and we'll go over that in the next part of the video when we go over the growth of this project. They've got Huddle01 Meet, and they've also got Firehouse. Now, Huddle01 Meet is actually available at the moment on Play Store, and you can also get it on your PC. It's basically the alternative to Google Meets or Zoom. You can launch your own meeting or start your own audio space, and it's absolutely free. You can get up to 100 participants per meeting or 500 participants on the audio spaces. Now, as a free alternative, the media node sale that they had in November has been powering this product. And as I mentioned, you'll be absolutely amazed by the number of users and the growth that this product already has. But this is just the beginning. This project is looking to launch into media streaming platforms, and is also hoping to launch into a different market, which is called the content delivery network, by building its own decentralized version. Now, a content delivery network is something that already exists. If you want to access information that's sitting in a server in a different country, well, there'll be a local server that you can access that information from, which will give you that information much quicker. And Huddle01 can do that through its media nodes. And it's looking to branch into decentralized finance and AI agents as well. So the project already has some awesome products available. The project is going to generate revenue through the node sales, but also the fees on the platform, the integrations that it's going to have with some of the development kits. They've got the consumer app subscriptions. Of course, you can pay for the products that they have at the moment, and they've got transactions in the network that are going to generate sales. And this is kind of what the network looks like, where users are going to consume bandwidth. So that could be through the Meet app or some of the other products that they're going to launch. And the bandwidth is going to be supplied by the media nodes. That's what we have the opportunity to purchase later on in this video. Now, media node holders are going to get a share of token rewards as a reward for doing that. Quickly looking at the tokenomics, this project puts 21% of the tokens towards the node holders, and it's got an initial supply of around 200 million tokens. Now, it's raised over $6 million in its funding round, and you can see some of the investors here, and the founders of this project are actually public. Now, they've actually received the 30 Under 30 Forbes award because of the breakthrough that they've had in this project. I actually met Ayush when I was in Dubai and I had a one-to-one conversation with him. They are doing absolutely amazing things. That's a quick overview of Huddle01. I will link my old video if you wanted a more of a deep dive into what that project is doing. Now, since talking about this project back in November, the project has absolutely exploded. Now, from the media node side, they've got thousands of media nodes that have been delegated and running on the network. You can see how many rewards have been distributed for this. But on the demand side, this is where this project has absolutely exploded, and that's specifically happened in the last few months. So you can see that in the month of May alone, they've had over 109 million minutes on their Meet application, and they've had over 370,000 meetings in the last month alone. That's an exponential growth. And you can see over the last 2 months that they've had over 10,000 new users joining the network. This is unprecedented growth, with a lot of that happening in some of the emerging countries where this project is actually going to be needed. There's a lot more stats here. I'll put a link in the description, but you can see the number of CPU cores dedicated, the amount of bandwidth that they've got available, and the number of active nodes that they have on the network. They've even got a share of the revenue that this project has generated, including the testnet users, and I'll show you a little bit later on how you can get access to an airdrop because of that. So this project is actually exploding, and you can see why there is an additional media node sale now. It's meeting the demand of this project. So they're not just selling nodes for the sake of it. It's because the project actually needs the nodes and the bandwidth to support it. And you can see some of these impressive stats that they've shared on their X page just a few days ago. So we are right at the beginning of what I think is going to be a huge growth for Huddle01. Now, they do actually have their testnet that has been launched. They launched their testnet into different phases. It's currently on Act 2 at the moment. This testnet is going to allow you to do a few tasks and earn points, which are going to translate into airdrop rewards. So this is a quick overview of that. I'll have a link in the description for the airdrop program. You'll need to register. You'll have to connect your X account, your Discord, and your Telegram. But once you're in, you'll see this homepage here. And if you click on the quests arena, you can see a bunch of quests that you can do. For example, if you're holding one of the nodes or if you're following Huddle01, some simple tasks that you can do here, and it's going to give you a bunch of points. Remember, you're going to want to rack up as many of these points as you can. And it's a free way, really, to get a bit of an airdrop once you connect with this platform. And as I'll explain later on, as Act 3 is coming on, the NFTs that you're going to get are going to give you additional perks in the testnet. But as I said, I'll put a link in the description if you want to play around with the testnet and the airdrop campaign and get a hold of a bunch of points for free. So what is the fuss over this media node sale that they have? Well, the media node is actually what is powering this decentralized real-time communication network. And these media nodes are responsible for managing communication data streams and handling tasks like encoding, decoding, mixing, routing, and they use essential resources like CPU and bandwidth. That's what's making the network reliable and scalable. Now, Huddle has a simple explanation here of how the media nodes work. Now, they provide bandwidth to the decentralized real-time communication protocol, and that's going to be used for the apps. And as we mentioned, there's a huge demand at the moment in both the audio and the video app that they have. Now, users are going to consume that bandwidth and they're going to pay for these services. And of course, media nodes are going to earn rewards in the Huddle token. 21% of the rewards are put aside for these nodes. And the nodes are going to earn around 5 Huddle tokens per day. They do have some minimum requirements. So the minimum is 4 cores, but actually it's recommended to have 8 CPU cores, 8 gigabytes of RAM, 32 gigabytes of disk space, and between 250 megabytes of internet connection to a gigabyte of internet connection. And they've got about a 50 megabytes per second internet connection requirement. Now, once you get a media node, there are 2 ways in which you can utilize it. The first way is to run your own node. So you can either run it yourself or you can use one of a NAS provider. I actually use NodeOps, and I'll show you quickly how I set mine up with that. Now, the second option is you can actually delegate your node to a trusted operator. So for example, I'm going to run my own pool. If you didn't want to host it with NodeOps or run it yourself, you just wanted to delegate it to my pool, you could do that. And there's a bunch of other pools in which you can do it. That's the cheaper option and the most hands-off option. Of course, the most expensive but the highest return will be if you run it yourself. Now, I actually run mine on the NodeOps platform. That was super easy. All I had to do was log into my NodeOps account, go to Node Deployment, head over to Huddle01, and then I just connected my wallet that had my NFT in it. As you can see, I've got 2 NFTs. I chose the 8 CPU option because each option will either allow 10 people to delegate to your pool or 40 people. I chose that one. And it's only going to cost $21 for 6 months. So to be honest, it was relatively cheap. The way you can add credits is simply clicking here, add credits to your account. You can use card or crypto. And once I did that in my Nodefolio, you can see that I've actually got Huddle01 here. Now, all I'd have to do is copy my node name and my node address into the Huddle01 website. And that would be super easy. I just go here, create new pool, and then I would enter my pool name and my address, my number of keys, and then I would put my commission in there. That's the simple way that you could run your own validator on the network. If you didn't want to do that and you wanted to join someone else's pool, you can actually join a bunch of pools here. Now, you'd simply click on hide full pools and you'd search by the pool name. Now, I'll have a link in the description to my pool if you want to delegate your media node to my pool. So you can do that if you want to. So that's how you can actually start earning those minimum of 5 rewards a day. But remember, with this upcoming node sale, there's going to be some additional boosts that you can make use of. Let me tell you about that now. Right, so this upcoming node key mint is slightly different to the previous node sale. You're still going to get a media node, but there's a few different ways in which you can take part. Number one, as I mentioned, this is going to launch on the 28th of May and through to the 4th of June. You're going to have the option to put in a deposit, which is 20%. At the moment, it's going to be around $60. That's going to preserve your locked-in price. That's going to give you 10% off, plus 5% rebate for using my code PCM. Plus, you're going to get an additional 3% discount if you already had a Pioneer node before. Now, there's only 1,000 of these nodes and 55 have already gone before it goes live, so I expect this to go pretty quickly. Now, the difference between this node sale and the previous node sale is that you're going to get an NFT associated with it, which is going to be a random generated NFT. What's the benefit and what's the use of these NFTs? So there are 4 different randomly assigned NFTs that you could receive if you purchase one of these rewards. So when you purchase in this sale, you're also going to receive an NFT key mint. It's going to be randomly dropped to you, and it's going to be one of these 4 designs. Now, they've gamified this, so what they're saying is that they've got these 4 cloud lords that are eating up the bandwidth market, and there are these 4 defenders or the legion of huddlers that are going to help you. Essentially, what's going to happen is you're going to be airdropped one of these NFTs. Now, the awesome thing is that alongside the 5 huddle a day that you're going to receive, you're also going to get a bunch of perks. So if you get the Vanguard of latency alongside the base 5 reward a day, you'll get a 5% boost on future earnings. If you get the Guardian of privacy alongside the base reward, you'll get a 10% boost on future earnings, and you'll also get commission-free delegation to any high tier foundation nodes. So as I mentioned, you can delegate your nodes, well, you'll get commission-free delegation. If you get the Sentinel of uptime, you'll get a 15% boost alongside the base rewards, but you'll also get to hold huddle for 90 days post TGE, and you'll get an extra 20% huddle that are redeemable on TGE. And if you get the General of open access, you'll get alongside the base rewards 7% boost on future earnings. And the most sought after NFT is going to be the ultimate huddler, because you're going to get 15% boost on future earnings. You're going to hold huddle for 60 days post DGE, and you'll get an extra 25% huddle. You'll get commission-free delegation to the highest node, and you'll get 50% of your nodes unlocked on TGE. So really, if you've already got a media node, this is going to be the best option for you. Hopefully, you can get the ultimate huddler item. Now, purchasing this node is $340, but of course, that's before the discount. After the discount, it's going to be around $306. Of course, you will get that 5% rebate in huddle tokens after you make your purchase. And as I mentioned, if you're watching this video after the 4th of June, the public sale will start on the 6th of June. So you'll still be able to get in. Now, the only problem is you'll get it at the full price, not the discounted price as well. And on the 20th of June, the randomly assigned NFTs are going to be dropped. The process of pre-booking is super easy, but I'll show that in the next part of the video. Right, so how do you reserve your node if you're in the pre-book period? If you're not in the pre-book period, you can still follow this process, but you'll just purchase the node instead of pre-booking it. So what you want to do is click on the link in the description, make sure that it's got the code PCM added here. That's going to give you a 5% rebate in Huddle on your purchase. And then you just want to give the 20% amount, which is $60. You'll click pre-book. Here you'll enter an email address. Now you need to make sure that you've got access to this. That's to verify you as a real person. So enter your real email address. And then you'll just want to enter the code to verify your email. You click submit, It will ask if you're a Pioneer node holder. That's if you had one of the Pioneer nodes. You can verify that if you want to. If you don't have a Pioneer node, you can just head to pre-book. And because I already have one of the media nodes, it's actually knocked off my deposit amount to just $59. I'll click on pre-book. So you just choose the network and choose the coin. There should be more networks available when you purchase this. Of course, you can purchase via card as well. And you're going to want to connect your wallet to make that payment. And that's it. You should see in your My Orders part of the dashboard, once you sign in using your email address, that your orders are here. You click on View Order, you can actually see the price that you paid and the amount you've got left to pay after the 4th of June. That's it for this video. I hope you found value in the content that I shared. I did try to go in depth in this video, but you can always skip through the chapters if you want to go back. I do have another video here if you want to check out this type of content, and I'll have all the links in the description that you need. Right, that's it from me. I'll catch you in the next